which are going to be like intermittently dispersed between the videos I do. Hey, and welcome to the first in a kind of new series, you could say, called Let's Talk Something. This series basically is a little bit more of a casual thing. I can relax a little bit more. I'm in my living room, it's nice. The setting up time was not nice. You may have seen some of my other videos which are called NFL Basics. So they're going to be like NFL Basics, the NFL Combine, for example. Whereas these ones are Let's Talk Free Agency 2018. So something a bit more current, okay? As videos come out each week, which is what I aim to do, basically they're just going to be coming out in a random order, so you don't necessarily know what you're getting, whether it's a basics video, whether it's a Let's Talk video, or whether it'll be about fantasy football when the season gets closer, or some other little things I have planned. So today we're going to talk about free agency. It feels great to be talking about something which is going to be happening in a week's time. So on the 12th of March, teams can talk to players. Like, it's called the legal tampering period. So teams can go and approach a player and offer him a contract. They're not allowed to sign anything until March the 14th, which is the first day of free agency, and also that actually coexists with the first day of the league season. Okay, so first day of league season, people can sign contracts, but from March 12th, you need to be keeping an eye out on the news, because that will be when you're learning about who's talking to who, what team's talking to who. All very fun. It's going to be great. So today I just want to go through some of the things, the salary cap, so we know if you support a team already or if you're still trying to pick, you can see who has the most money, so who might be able to make a free agency splash, and you can also then see how I want to quickly look into how that corresponds to success. Okay, so if you're rich, you're successful, who knows? And then I'm going to go through the NFL's top 101 free agency list. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through 101, you can go and do that yourself later, but we'll probably go through top 10, top 20, something like that. And then I love a stat, so we're going to finish the show with a stat today about wide receivers, okay? Okay, so the first website I'm going to go to is called overthecap.com. So go and check it out because it's really interesting. We'll have a quick look at it now. Basically, it just states each team's cap space. And I don't think really any other website does it to this extent, to the point where the journalists in the NFL use this website to reference to, okay? It shows the amount of dead money teams have, which is players money caught up in past players' contracts still. So they may have been released a year ago, but they're still paying a little bit of their contract. That's just a contract they signed. So it shows you dead money, and it shows you the amount of money they have left to spend. So, for example, Super Bowl winners, Philadelphia Eagles, are actually on minus $9 million salary cap, but the worst team in the league who didn't win a game, the Browns, have $113 million. That would indicate that you should spend more money to be successful. Actually, if you look at the top 7 teams on this list down to the Bears, and then you go to the standings for the regular season, the 7 of the 9 worst teams in the league are those teams who are at the top of the available money for salary cap. So yeah, go and have a look at overthecap.com because it is interesting. You can go and look at each team's like breakdown, and also what teams are spending more money on offense or defense. It's just quite an interesting look, especially this time of year before free agency. Look at this in September. Not as interesting. Just before free agency, for me personally, quite interesting. Overthecap.com. Go check it out. Top 101 free agents, according to 2 of the journalists at NFL.com, Chris Westing and Greg Rosenthal. Number 1's Kirk Cousins, is obvious. Everyone's excited to see what happens. Jets and Vikings look like they're in pole position for him. But again, you can't rule out the Broncos and Cardinals because they are QB needy right now and they have a decent amount of money to spend. Drew Brees is on there. Don't really believe he's going to get to free agency. Allen Robinson, quality wide receiver, 1,400 yards in 2015 and 14 touchdowns, I think it was. So for a player like that to come into free agency is fantastic. Didn't have quite as good 2016 season. That was potentially Blake Bortles, maybe more than him. And last year he tore his ACL in the beginning of the year. So it'd be a bit of a gamble, especially as you're probably going to have to pay quite a bit of money for him, for the team that gets him because of the injury. But he is a great wide receiver. I'd love to see him in Baltimore myself personally. You have defensive linemen, so you have defensive tackle, Sheldon Richardson, Sammy Watkins, another wide receiver. Your first offensive lineman, Kyle Fuller. Number 8, Case Keenum. We all know he had a great season last year. But I feel like some people will remember the Rams, Case Keenum, and prior to that as well. Tremaine Johnson, Teddy Bridgewater, great story, coming back from injury, but he's on free agency. Sam Bradford, it's a third quarterback from the Vikings. Sam Bradford, Teddy Bridgewater, and Case Keenum, all Vikings quarterbacks on free agency this year. It's pretty big. I don't think that's really ever happened before, that they've been that good as well. And then we go all the way to 20, which is Jimmy Graham, who was fantastic for the New Orleans Saints. Had a terrible injury after he went to the Seahawks. So yeah, we'll see how he gets on. But hey, have a look at this list. It's really good. 101. Let's see who's number 101. Jay Cutler. He's not coming back. Go check it out. Just type in Google 101 top free agents. It's a good read. and it will get you ready for next week, fully understanding who's out there, who's available for your team to pick up. Okay, so we have a rough idea of who's available for free agency, what teams have to spend, the dates it's happening, and all those things. I just want to finish the show with a stat. I love a stat. I was contemplating making this whole show a stat show, and it may be some weeks during the preseason where it's a bit quiet. But the one I'm going to show you today is about wide receivers' yards after the catch. Okay, so this is made by PFF. It's Pro Football Focus. I love them for a stat. They're brilliant. And one thing I found from being from the UK, not being able to stay up late and watch every game, or having a lot of time in the week to watch film and things like that, PFF are great for making you aware of the good players around your league, the poor players around the league, teams' needs, so teams' strengths and weaknesses and things like that, because they grade each player during every game. I don't know how they do it. I'd love to go and visit them and see how they do it on the Sunday. But basically, you come out of a week and they'll have graded a player. So during the whole season, by the end of the season, a player has a grade for the season, and it comes from very good, good, average, poor, very poor. So you can just have so for example, when I'm researching about the Ravens, wondering who we might draft, who we might get from free agency, you can just go and have a look at how, for example, our offensive line did and work out whether we're going to be needing to strengthen that. So I'd recommend PFF. Great website. Go and check it out. Pro Football Focus, that is. So the best teams, Pittsburgh, not surprising, with Juju Smith-Schuster coming onto the scene this year, and Antonio Brown, just a legend. Detroit Lions with Golden Tate and Marvin Jones all the way up there. And then you've got the Chargers, got Packers, Miami extremely high actually, which is higher than I thought, which is a good effort from them because they had a poor season. But if you look down the bottom as well, then you have Buffalo, Baltimore, Chicago, Cleveland, Indianapolis, and the Tennessee Titans and the Seahawks, Carolina. These are all teams who are going to be looking for wide receivers in free agency in the draft. But yeah, if you look at that, Buffalo and the Ravens, come on, I've got them a little mug up on the mantelpiece, but I might have to start hiding it if we don't start doing better. But if you look at the difference between Pittsburgh and Buffalo, it's just absolutely huge. And obviously, Buffalo, not necessarily a massively passing team. Got rid of Sammy Watkins is not going to ever help that. But Tyrod Taylor's not a renowned pass football. He's much better on his feet. And LaShawn McCoy begs for them to push towards the running game. So it's not surprising, but a team like Chicago, who've just drafted Mitchell Trubisky to be their number one quarterback, and the yards after the catch are so low, they just need to invest in wide receivers to give the quarterback some weapons, and it's the same in Baltimore as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this, if you've got any comments about how it can change or how you want to see it developed and what you'd like to see in these videos, whack it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're interested in supporting us and coming on the journey, because, hey, I'm learning. And yeah, share us with a friend if you're very confident. Maybe do that in a few weeks. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.